Hi guys, this is Ranjit and welcome to the first tech Q&A session for 2024 where I answer some of your tech related questions, and in this tech Q&A I'll be answering 25 odd questions, and in fact a lot of questions regarding AI and AI in smartphones and stuff, so I'll also be taking that's in the middle part of the video. Quite a few interesting questions, so let's get on with this one. And the first question that I got is from ARI Blaze. He's asking, which device should one choose between the OnePlus 12 and the iQOO 12? I would say if your budget is very tight, you can definitely go with the iQOO 12, because from a budget point of view and the hardware that you're getting, I think so that's the best as of now in the market with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. But if your budget is slightly more flexible, then I would say the OnePlus 12 would be my choice, because the software experience is going to be slightly better on the OnePlus 12. But again, you're going to be paying that premium. And also in terms of updates, I feel OnePlus might be slightly better than the iQOO in the longer run. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Apur. He's asking, is the S24 Ultra worth upgrading for the AI features from S23 Ultra, considering that the S23 Ultra and older devices support One UI 6.1? To be very frank, if you already have the S23 Ultra, this is the S24 Ultra, I don't feel that you should go out and buy the S24 Ultra just for the AI features, because Samsung has already committed that the S23 series will be getting these AI features. Yes, it's going to be delayed a little bit during the first and the second quarter, they have told. So hopefully in the next 3 odd months, you should be getting those AI features even on your S23 Ultra. And I frankly feel, I get this question a lot. If you're having just a last generation flagship, there is no point just jumping into the next version, because if you just quickly jump every year, the massive difference in performance you will simply not notice. And these days, most of the flagships are very good for 2 or 3 years easily, and even more, I would say. So I don't think so you need to upgrade. This is by Srikant. When we are going to expect a full review and your thoughts about the Jio AirFiber? Jio AirFiber, again, I'll give a summary. I would say opt only for the Jio AirFiber if in your area or your locality you do not have a proper fixed fiber option, because the Jio AirFiber simply cannot compete with the proper fiber connection, because the latency is not that great with the AirFiber. That's what I've noticed. Also, there is quite a bit of packet loss also. So if you're a person who's doing that work from home where you might have to use stuff like VPN and stuff like that, then I would not recommend the Jio AirFiber. But as if you don't have any broadband connection in your area, nothing, then yes, of course, you can use the Jio AirFiber. It will work, but again, remember that in some mission critical applications like video conferencing and stuff like that, you might get hiccups because of the ping loss. And also, if you are heavily using corporate networks where you'll have to use VPNs, there you will have an issue. So I actually have the Jio AirFiber also in this location, but again, that's only my backup connection. My primary connection is a proper fiber connection. Only when it goes down, because in this area, this is a new area, there's a lot of construction going on, there are frequent fiber cuts, so whenever that fiber cut or something, the main line is down, then only the Jio AirFiber I use. But still, my primary connection is the regular fiber connection. Nothing can match that, the latency, the speed that you get with the regular fiber connection. Hope that helps. This is by Crusader. He is asking, is it okay to buy the S21 FE in 2024, considering it's been just in year after the release? I'm getting it for 33K and priorities are not slowing down over years and good performance. No, I will not recommend the S21 FE now. Instead of this, you can go with the, I don't recall the price of the Nothing Phone 2, but I think so with the offers and something, it might be closer to this one. The Nothing Phone 2 will simply make a lot more sense than the S21 FE, to be very frank. So I will not recommend this. The S21 FE was a really good phone when it launched, but guys, it's too old now. And even the Snapdragon 888 version is not that great. That also has heating issues. Anyways, move to the next. This is by Sai. He's asking, give some overview on chargers. What is a PD charger and so on? Previously, my 33 watt Mi charger used to charge my laptop, but now my 100 watt OnePlus charger is not able to charge. Why? Please explain. Sai, your charger, if you want to charge your laptops and other devices, it has to be a PD charger. PD charger, the full form is power delivery, and this is an industry standard. In fact, many of the modern laptops actually use the PD charging standard. For example, all the MacBooks, etc., use the PD charging. So if your smartphone also supports PD charging, then you can use the smartphone's charger to charge your laptop. In fact, I'm actually using that Nothing's GAN charger, 65 watt, which is actually indirectly a PD charger, and I charge almost all my smartphones with that, and even my MacBook Air with that, and it charges fine. The problem that you're facing is that the OnePlus charger that we have, that 100 watt or even that 80 watt charger, these are not PD chargers. OnePlus, Oppo, and all this Vivo, etc., this BVK group actually uses their own proprietary charging technology that is called VOOC charging indirectly, and this is not PD charging. That's why if you use the OnePlus charger, etc., and try to charge your laptop, it will charge very, very slowly, and it's simply not recommended. But again, most of the other brands charger, for example, the charger that you get with Motorola phones, etc., those are actually PD chargers, and you can charge it. So, and if you're in the market looking for a new charger, universal charger, you can go with the PD charger of at least 65 watt, and even we are these days getting some PD chargers that are 100 watt. And I generally actually just use one PD charger. I have a 100 watt PD charger, and whenever I'm traveling, etc., I just carry that and I charge my laptops and all the smartphones with that. Hope that helps. PD is a standard, industry standard, but that VOOC charging, etc., is just a standard, is just a thing that works on BBK devices like OnePlus, etc. This is Sohail. Does S24 Ultra anti-reflective coating works with regular screen protector? If no, then why so much hyper protect? I have no idea. I actually never put screen protectors on the devices, and the reflections, as you can see, is a lot less on this S24 Ultra. This is the Fold, and this is a big deal. The anti-reflection stuff is mixed within the glass. It's a hardware layer. It's not like a screen protector or something that will peel away. So this is a big deal, I would say, what is being done on this smartphone. And I wish Samsung also had put it on the S24, because I am currently using the S24, but this does not have that coating, and see that difference. How much this is avoiding the reflections, whereas this is seeing the reflections. And this is a big deal. And and I'm pretty sure now Apple with their iPhone 16 or whatever will also have something like this, and they'll name it a very, very fancy name or something revolutionary or something. Then it'll get popular. But yes, this is a game changer for me, I would say. And I don't use generally any smartphones with the screen protector, because after the Victus 2, they are very, very, very reliable, I would say. Anyways, going to the next one. This is by Nazir. He's asking, is it okay to buy the S23 or should I go for the S24? Any performance gap between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the Exynos 2400? I would say in most of the tests that I've done, it's very, very similar to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. In fact, in some areas, some benchmarks and stuff, it actually goes ahead of the 8 Gen 2, and in fact it even actually beat the 8 Gen 3 in one of the benchmarks. And particularly I would say in gaming, if a game is actually having ray tracing, these Exynos 2400 chipsets are performing way better than even the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. And the simple reason is that because of the AMD RDNA GPU on this one, which is actually optimized for ray tracing. But for your question, I think so now you should be able to get the S23 at a very good price. So if you're getting it at a significantly better price than the S24, you can go with the S23, because as Samsung has already mentioned, S23 will also be getting the some of the AI features in the next couple of months. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, this is by Srinivas. He's saying, following YouTube from the past 7-8 years, thank you. Using Pixel from the past 4 years, Pixel 8 or S24 series. My concern with Pixel is service center. Yes, man, that's the only problem that I feel is with Pixel. This is the Pixel 8. I like it. I love it. I don't particularly like the Tensor processor on this one, because this does tend to heat up a little bit. That way, I would say this Exynos 2400 is not heating up as much as the, in fact, it's not actually heating up like the Pixel 8. But apart from that, I like the Pixel. I like some of the AI features that are there on the Pixel. That's even not there on the S24. But yes, this thing actually worries me is the service centers in India. That is the reason that I don't recommend the Pixel series to my family relatives. That's the only reason, I would say. Hope that answers your question. This is by Narayan. He's saying, is it worth to buy the Tiago EV long range, not top model, one model below top end? Daily travel distance is about 100 kilometers. For the Tiago EV, the regular range version, they claim about 300 odd kilometers. You will get 200 kilometers on that. The actual range, 190 to 200, and on the longer range, anywhere from 280 to 300 kilometers. So I think so for your up and down run that you're telling daily 100 kilometers, even the regular one will do. But I want to ask this question to you. Where will you be charging this EV? If you have an independent house and your own charger, then you can go with the regular range version. But if you're living in a flat and you have to use that shared charging or something, then it might be advisable to go for the longer range version, because there might be times where you might not have the charger free because it's a shared charger, others might be charging. So check that. I personally have the Nexon EV Max. My daily run is not that much. Sometimes I do about 160, 170 kilometers because I have to drop drop my daughter to the college. So that 160 kilometers, 170 is the max I do in a day. But I went with the higher end Max for the simple reason is that I wanted ventilated seats in my car. Because in summers here in Hyderabad, it is terrible. And even my BMW actually does not have ventilated seats. And in fact, that's the reason I avoid driving my BMW in summers, because I'd get boils on my back. So my reason was very simple. I wanted ventilated seats. That's the reason I went for the Max. But again, regarding the range, again, this is very, very important. Pay attention to the fact that if you have charging accessibility every time, then you can go with the regular range. But if that is not there, it's something like shared charging in apartments or whatever, where you'll have to wait, then going with the long range version might be more beneficial, because one day you might not be able to charge it. Then you can fall into issues. That's my frank opinion. This is by Sandeep. He's asking, which was your favorite phone in 2023? You also like the photos from the Xiaomi 13 Pro last year. Any specific reason? Still, I would say the pictures that I got with the Xiaomi 13 Pro's rear-facing camera were one of the best that I had last year. In fact, it was a review unit that Xiaomi took away, but if I would have been having that device, I would have carried it whenever I was to travel, because the rear facing camera was so good on that, but the front facing camera was equally bad on that. I would say in 2023, there was nothing, one particular favorite phone of mine, because there was nothing radical, I would say, that I noticed. I have been using this Fold 5, but again, the Fold 5 again, after now I've been using it for past 6 months, is again not a big upgrade from the Fold 4. I'm actually having very high hopes with the Fold 6. Let's see. So there is nothing like a favorite something in 2023, but in terms of rear-facing camera, yes, the Xiaomi 13 Pro was the best I have had used. This is by Pratik. I'm confused between OnePlus 12 and Samsung S24. Which will be better? Not a gaming enthusiast, but I use a lot of applications. Please suggest. Currently, I'm using the OnePlus 6. Pratik, I would say you should not compare the OnePlus 12 with the Samsung S24, but you should compare it with the S24 Plus, because in specs, it is actually very close to the S24 or Plus. The S24 just has 8 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the S24 Plus actually is having 12 gigabytes of RAM and that Quad HD display that the OnePlus 12 has. So you have to actually compare with that one, I would say. If budget is a issue, you're tight, definitely the OnePlus 12 makes far more sense, but I need to test how's the camera on that one to see which one but again, these days, most of the flagships, the cameras are actually pretty good, I would say. The only con I would say that the OnePlus has right now is that AI features that are there on this one are not there on the OnePlus 12. So again, it will depend on you. Will you be using those AI features? And I feel many of the AI features that we are having on the Samsung Galaxy's S24 series, if you are an international traveler, then it will benefit a lot to you. But if you're not that much, then yes, there are some photo manipulation stuff. So again, it's up to you to decide, man. Value for money is still, I would say, OnePlus 12. But again, we don't know how the OnePlus will age with the updates, because their track record is very, very mixed in that area. So again, take a call. But from specs point of view, I would say if pricing is just the criteria, you're getting quite a bit of hardware, I would say, for the OnePlus 12 for the price. But again, don't compare it with the S24. You'll have to compare it with the S24 Plus. Okay, moving to the next one. This is by Steven. He says, nowadays brands are promoting lossless in-sensor zoom pretty much. Is that a gimmick for promoting sales, or does it work? It actually technically works, but again, the camera sensor has to be a little bit bigger. So what it does is that instead of just taking for the zoom, it is just actually taking the part from the center. So yes, up to that 2x zoom is actually almost lossless, I would say. I didn't find any issue. For example, on the Ultra also, the 5x zoom is there, but I've played a lot with the 10x zoom also, where it's actually zooming into the 50 megapixel sensor, and I didn't notice any loss or something like that. But yeah, above that 2x of the native, yes, then it's actually employing that digital enhancements. This is by Piyush. Is there any practical use of wireless charging? How often people use wireless charging, as it increases the cost of production? To be very frank, Piyush, I don't care about wireless charging. Almost every phone that I use has wireless charging, and I don't care about it. The only place where I use the wireless charging is in the car, the dashboard where I keep the phone, because I'm anyways using Android Auto, whatever, I put it in the dash. If a phone has wireless charging, it will just start charging. That's the only place where I use wireless charging. So I don't care if a phone has wireless charging or not, because for regular charging, I will never use wireless charging, because the phone heats up quite a bit when you're using wireless charging. And we know in the long run, that is actually terrible for the battery life. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by XRG. S24 or DSLR, considering photography competition? This is a tricky one. I would say I will not recommend the S24 if photography is your highest concern. If your photography is your highest concern this year, I would say go with the Vivo X. This is the X100 Pro. Oh my God. The images that I'm getting from the rear-facing camera are just next level, I would say. So if it's just for photography, then this Vivo X100 Pro is the one to go, I would say. I don't know, the Xiaomi's 14 Pro might be coming to India, but as of now, I would say the camera performance of this Vivo X100 Pro is the best, I would say. The images that we get with this one have that DSLR kind of a look. So as of now, this is the camera champ for me in 2024. I'm having high expectations with the Xiaomi 14 Pro, because the 13 Pro's rear-facing camera was actually very good. But let's see what it is. But yeah, between S24 and this one, camera, definitely, no doubt about it. Okay, this is by Rodney. What's your take on AI in smartphone? Okay, these are now AI related questions that we are getting. Will it come to mid-range phone? How will it impact next generation iPhones? Okay, what's your take on AI in smartphone? Guys, I feel this is the next stage of evolutions for smartphones, because if you notice, the smartphones, we have reached a speed bump in terms of processing power and all these things. Okay, to give you an example, let me give you an idea. Let's say this model of the car can do a max speed of 250 kilometers. Next year, they release one more car that is doing a max speed of 260 kilometers. Doesn't matter to you, because you're never going to drive it at those speeds. We have reached that kind of a stage with smartphones. So the next evolution is this AI. And we started seeing that with the Pixel 8 series. It has employed a lot of AI things in the camera, and especially in video recording also. The audio magic that it was doing with the AI was incredible. Now Samsung has started doing that with this S24 series. So I feel this is the next big trend as of now. At least this year we will start seeing that with flagships, and that will be the biggest differentiator between devices. Because let's get it right, man, all Android flagships will be having the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. Yes, here and there they play around with the camera, but the general processing power and everything is almost the same. So it's almost the same things that you can do. What makes it different? It's the AI stuff. So we are into now this new AI race, and I think so most of the flagship Android smartphones will start doing that. Apple will also have to do it. Let's see if they introduce these AI features with iPhone 16, or will we get it on iPhone 17. But I feel what Apple will do is that most of the AI features, Apple will try to do it on device itself. Yes, this S24 series also are doing quite a few AI features on the device itself, but for some of the features it's actually going to the cloud. And whenever Apple implements it, they'll try to do 90% of the stuff on the device itself, because of their privacy natures or something. So we are into this very interesting phase of evolutions of smartphone, and these are just baby steps that we are taking as of now. I feel by next year, not this year, phones will be differentiated based on what AI feature one model has, what AI feature other model has. For example, I like some of the AI features on this Galaxy device, but one AI feature that I really missed, I felt that this S24 series should have had this. If you record video from the Pixel 8, it has this AI noise cancellation. It is magical. Watch my video of the Pixel 8, how effective it is. So yes, we will start seeing AI features that will make our life a lot more easier. But again, we are in this starting stage of this one, and I feel by next year, at least next year end, phones will be differentiated based on what kind of AI features it will have, and it will be different for every device. I think so, because here is where these companies will have to put in a lot of effort to differentiate their products. Okay, another AI related question. Should AI features in a smartphone be made on a subscription model, just like what S24 Ultra did? How many of the customers will actually be willing to pay? Also, Google has not announced any subscription model for their AI features. What about them? Will they do the same? See, as I've told you, we are in this infancy period of this AI features. Yes, on the Pixel 8 as of now, all the AI features are free. But again, if I compare the number of features that we have, S24 is having a lot more AI features. So I think so this will change drastically in Pixel 9, because I feel Pixel 9 will be a lot more AI focused smartphone. They just started getting their feet wet with the Pixel 8. And from what I've heard from industry experts is that some of the AI stuff that actually has to go to the cloud, it takes a lot of processing power. So let's see how this evolves. Samsung is also not very clear. By end of 2025, they told some of the AI features will become in paid model. So I think so whatever AI processing can be done on the device itself will be free, but some of the other stuff it might be paid. For example, that tap to circle to search option that we have on the S24 series, it's being powered indirectly by Google. So I'm pretty sure Samsung is paying some royalties, etc., or a payment to Google. So again, I would say not all AI features will become paid, but some specific features might become paid. And again, it will depend on the user. If that user is using and deriving value from that, then he might be ready to pay. But again, I don't think so it'll be a compulsory paid model. If you don't want to pay, you don't use those features. Simple as that. But again, this is a very evolving scenario that we have. We are in the baby steps of this new evolution that we are into with smartphones. Okay, what is the next exciting thing in smartphone industry that you are looking for? This is by Raghu. And again, as I've told you, this is the AI. We have just started doing this, and I feel moving forward, we will have different kind of phones that specialize in very different kind of things. Maybe there'll be some smartphones that specialize in what do you say, AI that is related to video editing or something like that. There might be something. Samsung has gone with a lot of speech stuff and all this. For example, I would say currently the S24 series are great. That AI features are great if you travel a lot internationally. But again, some different manufacturers might try to concentrate on a different mode of AI. So this is a very evolving industry, and we will see a lot of stuff in the next coming year. It's again, I feel we are getting into that exciting stuff of smartphone where we'll see a lot of differentiation based on what this smartphone model can do, the other smartphone model can do. And some of you have asked me, what about AI features in mid-range smartphones? I feel eventually they will start coming, but again, they might come in the new crop of mid-range devices, because for on-device AI to be done, the NPU, the neural processing engine on the processor should be pretty powerful. And as of now, most of the mid-range phones, yes, they do have some side of NPU, but it's not that powerful. So eventually, it could even come to the mid-range smartphones, but again, it will take time. As of now, this race will be, as of now, at least this year, will be fought only on the flagships. Anyways, this is by Altered Destiny. He's asking, how's the experience of Vivo X100 Pro, especially FunTouch OS? I'm really into photography. Altered Destiny, I would say in terms of the camera, oh my god, this is, love it, man, the rear facing camera on this one. But FunTouch OS, yes, it does the job, you can get it done, but again, I would say that's not one of the high points of this device. I would say that will come in slightly negative areas of this device. And another thing is that one more negative that I have about this device is that when you push this device, because of the Dimensity 9300, this device tends to get a little bit warm to touch. That is the only two things that I have noticed, big cons about this device. But if it's just for camera, man, this is the camera to beat as of now in 2024, personally for me. That answers your question. This is by Kiran. He's asking, now that most companies are marketing 4 or 5 years of software support during launch, want to know how many phones actually last that long without hardware issues. Isn't it misleading? Kiran, you're completely wrong. I'll give you my personal examples in our family. For example, my uncle, I had given him the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, if I recall, and he's still using that device. The only con is that that device is now no longer getting software updates. So I will have to change his device now. But again, if it would have been getting proper software updates, he would have continued to use it. Another example is that one of my cousins actually still has the Note 10. Yes, Note 10. And just about 6 months ago, he came to me and he told me the one particular app he's trying to install and it's not being installed. And I figured it out that because now that Note 10 is out of Android support and all this thing. The Android version that he's running on his Note 10 is not supported with that app. But just think, if that app was that smartphone had a lot more support, like 5 or 6 years, he would be happily using it. There are people, man, who use flagships. They don't change their flagship every year or two. They are careful with the devices. They have it in the case. 4 or 5 years easily they last. So I feel it's a good move by Pixel and Samsung that they are giving this much support. It's not for enthusiasts like you and me who change their smartphone every year or every 2 years, but this is for people who like to buy one good flagship, and I don't want to change my phone for 4 or 5 years. Okay, so definitely it does make sense. And also in the resale market, I will say this is better for those devices because you might get slightly better exchange value because that phone is not outdated and it is continuing to get software support. Again, this is only applicable to flagships. I can't say about mid-range devices because mid-range devices, the hardware quality to start with is again just mediocre. But again, definitely for a good flagship, if you don't abuse it, don't drop it on something, they will last. This is by Banya. He's asking, is it worth spending lakhs on mobile devices now? What is your opinion on this, and what is the best price range where one can buy a phone which can last for 3 or 4 years? But yeah, I would give you this example of cars. In India, if you look at it, there are a lot of cars that are available in a lot of price segments. For example, in India, I would say still around the 10 to 15 lakh price point, you can get excellent cars. And there are also cars that cost 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 19 lakhs if you want to go for the BMWs or the Mercedes and etc. So it's not that you always have to go with that BMW or a Mercedes or whatever for your needs. Even that 10 or 15 lakh car will do the same. That's the same thing with the flagship devices. It's just that if the manufacturer is just releasing these devices, it's not like you have to purchase these devices. There are quite a few actually very good mid-range devices that will do the job. And I don't get the point these days. Many people are just buying these devices on EMI. My simple rule is that if you're not comfortable paying the full price of the device without thinking thrice, then device is not for you. I've told this, even I had made a dedicated video about it. Please stop buying devices on EMI and stuff like that, because smartphones, man, why are you buying on EMI? If you can afford it full price without thinking, then that smartphone, that price is okay for you. If not, it's not. There are tons of other smartphones. For example, in India right now, in the price gap of about 25 to 35,000, there's so good smartphones, almost in terms of performance, close to flagship that you can get as of now. So yeah. That's my frank, blunt answer about this one. This is by Imran. Want to know about YouTube careers, especially in tech and motor blogging. Which one should I go? Imran, a very wrong question, I would say. You should not decide your YouTube career or whatever based on, okay, tech is doing right now, motor blogging is doing right now, I'll go in that. Decide what passion you have. Do you have a passion for tech, or do you have passion for the motor blogging or whatever? That only you can answer, because this is a very, very, very tough field, because there are like thousands and thousands of 10,000 bloggers or whatever, and out of that not even 100 are known. Okay, so unless you have that core passion from within, you will simply not survive. Okay, if you're just going for, like, let's say tech is doing right now, so I'll go in tech. Hey, motor vlogging is going good, I'll go in there. Because you'll simply not be able to sustain in the long run. So ask from your heart, what is the true passion that you have, and try to go in. And again, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's just not easy. This is by Hari Prakash. Could you touch upon home network security in the era of IoT devices entering our home day by day? Minimum requirements and amount needed to set up a basic but secure home network. A very, very important question. I have tons of IoT devices. This entire new space of mine is smart homes. Tons and tons of IoT devices that I have. I would say it is advisable to actually have all your IoT devices on a different Wi-Fi network. Don't put it on your primary, Wi-Fi network. If your router is pretty advanced, high-end router, you might be able to set up VLANs. These are known as virtual LANs. Just Google about VLANs, you'll get an idea. My IoT devices are on a different VLAN. Thereby, they cannot just communicate with my main network and my main computers. But again, these VLANs and stuff are on very, very advanced high-end routers. So what you can do is, if you're having a normal Wi-Fi router, is that most of the these days normal Wi-Fi routers have a guest network. Okay, so create a different guest network and keep all your devices, these IoT devices, on that guest network. That way, your main network will be a lot more secure, because there might be a lot of vulnerabilities on these IoT devices. And if these IoT devices are on the same Wi-Fi network, that can be a big security issue, my friend. But again, as I've told you, even most of the basic Wi-Fi routers actually have guest network. You can opt for that. But again, if you have a very advanced router or whatever you have, VLAN is the way to go. I am personally using VLANs for my IoT network. Okay, this is by Siddharth. What all electronic devices did you use recently for that aided in getting fitter? I'm just using this smart, fitness watch. That is the Garmin. I don't use any other electronic device. And this is also for tracking the progress, how I'm improving, what is my VO2 max, how much did I run today. So it's just to get an idea and improving it, my heart rate when I'm running. I don't want it to go above a certain point or something. So this is the only gadget that I'm using, I would say. And again, you don't have to go for a Garmin or something like that, even a basic, I've told about this, a basic, that fitness band will give you 90% of the stuff that I'm doing. Yes, it might not accurately track advanced metrics like VO2 max, or your resting heart rate might not be. But again, just for basic tracking, I would say even a basic fitness band will do the job. Okay, this is by Krishna. He's asking, is it worth upgrading to the iPhone 15 from iPhone 12? I use phones only for calls, social media, and take photos occasionally. Krishna, to be very frank, now I will not recommend you to go for the iPhone 15. Wait for 6-7 months and go for the iPhone 16, because I feel now Apple will introduce quite a few AI features with the iPhone 16, and we know Apple, they will not actually port those new AI features quickly to the older phones. So if you have already waited and if your phone is in working condition, just wait for the iPhone 16, because I've told you this AI thing is the new big thing in the smartphone industry, and it's going to shake up a lot of things. So I feel with the iPhone 16, Apple will also jump into this AI thing. So my personal opinion is just wait, I would say. And this is the last question. This is by Pankaj. He's asking, what is the correct price range to buy a phone these days in which cost benefit is best optimized from a user point of view? As of now in India, I would say around 25,000 to about that 35,000 price point is the best. You get actually pretty powerful phones with a lot of features, I would say. And also you can get in fact the last year's best processor, that is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, also in some of the smartphones with discounts and stuff. So I feel that is the best, I would say. And also if you're getting a great deal for a last year's flagship, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 was a brilliant processor, then you can also go with that. And so that's my frank opinion. But if the budget is tight these days, even around that 25,000 price point, you have a lot of options now. I hope this video was helpful, guys. And if you guys are still not subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Again, guys, stay tuned. A lot of new smartphone reviews and some interesting videos coming up. So stay tuned. Take care, guys. Catch you later. Bye-bye.